Welcome to Chantel's Haven. So I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but I was coming up with content so that I can be more consistent when it comes to painting. So this is a painting I'm going to do, and the concept is more of a seascape blended with landscape. I want it to be very colorful. So at this point, I decided to use a palette knife to give the painting some texture, and yeah. So a palette knife is used to give texture to your paintings, especially when you want it to look realistic, or what you're painting has this texture which is not usually a visual texture. Some textures are there. When you use the impasto technique, you can actually feel the texture with your palm, whether it's rough or smooth. Aside looking at it, you can feel the texture by rubbing your fingers against the artwork. So I use the palette knife for the first time. I use the palette knife to achieve some rough textures in my painting, because my clouds on my sky was really smooth, and I would use the same palette knife to paint the sea to give it some texture and to make it look like the tides are actually moving. The tides or the waters are actually moving. So the palette knife is actually a good tool when it comes to having to use certain textures in your work. For my painting, I love to play with colors, and for the first time I decided to use a palette knife, And you can also adapt the use of the brush later on when you feel your edges are too rough. But ideally, if you want to have rough textures or surfaces in a painting, some of them you want them to look like they're popping out of the picture to give you this 3D effect. Ideally, I'll recommend the use of a palette knife. Although it was my first time using it, I've seen a lot of artists on YouTube using the palette knife. And back in high school, my art teacher used the palette knife a lot. I mean, you have to keep practicing to learn the skill. And I think for a start, I was impressed because I actually got the textures I wanted to depict the tides of the sea. So in the end, I realized that my sky and my sea look different, although they have the same colors. But because I used the brush for the sky and I used the palette knife for the sea to depict the tides, it differentiated, and you could see that the sea looked a bit rougher than the sky. And yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to achieve, and the palette knife helped me achieve that. So it takes practice. Sometimes you can get it at the first go, but as you keep practicing, you will keep learning how to use it better and better, and it will help you achieve what you want to achieve.
as possible, because I mean, I've not settled on a title yet, but I think the title will be What a Beautiful World, or A Beautiful World, because I think the world should always be lively, and as an artist, the only way to make the world lively is to transmit your message through your painting and using bright colors. So obviously that's what's happening here, and I'm doing that by using the paint in its raw state, and then I'm dabbing directly on the canvas. So when it's dry and you rub your hand against the coconut, you feel that it's rough, and I'm about to do the same thing for the stem of the coconut tree, and it's going to like create this texture and realism. Social media handles. On Instagram, it's forever__Chantel. Chantel with a C, CHANTELLE, forever__Chantel. And this wouldn't have been possible without the help of Arts for the Needy, who are trying to make a difference in the lives of people through selling paintings to help support Brilliant by Lady Stitch. And hopefully this painting is going to be sold out, and then one student in junior high school in their final year is going to benefit from the proceeds that come out of this painting, and the person's fees is going to be paid so that a person can sit for 2020. Wow, that's like next year. So that a person can sit for the 2020 BEC next year. So thanks for watching Chantel's Haven. Bye all of you.